The emperor known as Shenzong of Song ruled during the northern Song Dynasty and is known for his ambitious reforms led by Wang Anshi. His reign saw economic and military innovations aimed at strengthening the empire, but internal conflicts and external threats, including the rise of the Western Xia, challenged his vision. Shenzong was born in 1048, the son of Emperor Zhenzong of Song. He grew up in the imperial palace. As a royal family member, he enjoyed many privileges and responsibilities. His education centered on Confucian teachings. These teachings stressed moral integrity and good governance, which would be vital for his future reign. Shenzong's childhood unfolded during a stable period in the Song Dynasty. However, challenges were on the horizon. Influential court officials and educators surrounded him. They aimed to prepare him for leadership. They instilled a sense of duty to the empire and its people in him. This lesson highlighted the importance of good governance. The political landscape also influenced Shenzong's views. He watched the delicate balance of power at court. He noted the ongoing struggles between various factions. His formative years were filled with learning, but also with witnessing the complexities of court life. There were high expectations for him as a future emperor. Although records of his early life are limited, it's clear that Shenzong's upbringing was crucial. He learned from the successes and failures of those before him. As Shenzong neared adulthood, expectations weighed heavily on him. He was born into the Song Dynasty and prepared for leadership from a young age. His father's reign had built a prosperous empire. Now it was Shenzong's turn to shine. At just 16, he became emperor after his father's death. The transition was rapid, and the responsibility felt overwhelming. Eager to prove himself, Shenzong moved quickly to assert his authority. He chose capable advisors who shared his vision for a strong state. He saw the need for reform. The bureaucratic system had become complacent and ineffective. With determination, he began to implement changes to revitalize the government. Shenzong's charisma and intelligence earned him respect from the court and the people. He introduced policies to support agriculture and trade, which spurred economics growth. His dedication to the welfare of his subjects won him many admirers. He aimed to strengthen the bond between the emperor and the common people. Though young, Shenzong's ambition was clear. He dreamed of an empire that could match the glory of earlier dynasties. His ascent as a young emperor marked a significant shift in the Song dynasty's path. Empress Gao rose to prominence within the court. She wielded considerable influence over Emperor Shenzong's decisions and policies. Her sharp political insight and skillful navigation of court life allowed her to shape the emperor's vision for his reign. As Shenzong faced numerous challenges, Empress Gao's counsel became crucial. He dealt with issues of governance and military conflicts. She balanced her role as a supportive spouse with that of a strong advisor. Her voice was heard on important matters of state. Empress Gao was known for her dedication to Confucian ideals. She promoted stability and moral governance. This emphasis on ethical administration resonated with Shenzong. He sought to strengthen the empire's foundations. She urged him to prioritize meritocracy and surround himself with capable officials. This shift fostered a court culture that valued talent over lineage. It enhanced Shenzong's authority and earned him the respect of his subjects. Additionally, Empress Gao's personal connections with key court members made negotiations smoother. Her ability to form strategic alliances helped her advocate for policies aligned with her vision for the dynasty. Her influence extended beyond mere advice. She actively shaped the political landscape of the Song dynasty. In the Song dynasty, there was a pressing need for reform. In 1069, Emperor Shenzong made a crucial decision. He appointed Wang Anshi as his chief minister. This moment marked a turning point in the emperor's reign and the future of the dynasty. Shenzong believed Wang's sharp mind and innovative ideas could tackle the political, economic and military challenges facing the empire. Wang Anshi had a strong scholarly background. He was known for his progressive thoughts. He quickly earned the emperor's trust. Before his appointment, he'd already advocated for various reforms. He emphasized the need for a strong state that could support its citizens. His appointment represented a change in governance. Shenzong wanted to implement new strategies to boost the Song dynasty's stability and prosperity. As chief minister, Wang Anshi encountered significant opposition. Many traditionalists resisted change. Nevertheless, Shenzong stood firmly by Wang's side. He believed Wang's vision was vital for the dynasty's survival. The emperor's support gave Wang the power to pursue bold reforms. These reforms ignited heated debates among court officials and scholars. Together, Shenzong and Wang laid the foundation for transformative initiatives. Their goal was to revitalize the economy and strengthen state power. Shenzong's choice to appoint Wang Anshi wasn't just about selecting a minister. It showed his commitment to a dynamic government. The New Policies movement arose as a crucial response to the challenges of the Song dynasty during Shenzong's reign. Led by Wang Anshi, this reform initiative aimed to tackle economic stagnation and bureaucratic inefficiency. Shenzong recognized that traditional systems couldn't handle the growing complexities of the state. He looked for innovative solutions to strengthen the dynasty. Wang Anshi proposed sweeping reforms across various sectors, including taxation, agriculture, and education. One key policy was the establishment of state-sponsored agricultural programs. These programs provided loans and resources to farmers. The goal was to boost crop yields and reduce poverty among peasants. The movement also introduced the new laws, aimed at creating a fairer tax system that lessened the burden on the lower classes. Moreover, the New Policies movement highlighted the need for meritocracy in government. Wang Anshi pushed for a civil service exam system that would prioritize candidates based on their abilities, not their social status. This aimed to promote talented individuals to positions of influence, creating a more efficient and responsive bureaucracy. Despite facing strong opposition from conservative factions within the court, Shenzong remained devoted to these reforms. He believed they'd revitalize the state. The New Policies movement marked a significant turning point in Song governance. Amid the challenges of the Song dynasty, Emperor Shenzong took bold steps to strengthen the military. He knew that a powerful army was vital for protecting the empire, from threats both inside and out. To build this strength, he launched military reforms that aimed to modernize the forces. Shenzong focused on recruitment and training. He sought to expand the army by enlisting skilled archers and cavalry units. A diverse military would improve effectiveness on the battlefield. He also invested in better training programs, ensuring soldiers learned advanced combat techniques and tactics. Infrastructure improvements were another key focus. Shenzong ordered the construction of fortifications and supply depots. These ensured that troops had the necessary resources during campaigns. He also promoted new military technologies, like improved weapons and siege engines. These advancements gave the Song army a competitive edge. Leadership was crucial to Shenzong's vision. He appointed capable generals and commanders who could inspire their troops. This created a sense of unity and purpose within the military ranks. Through these reforms, Shenzong aimed to restore the military prestige of the Song dynasty. His dedication to strengthening the army laid the groundwork for a more robust defense against rivals. Emperor Shenzong faced great challenges during his reign. Famine and poverty plagued his empire. In response, he launched the Green Sprouts policy. This initiative aimed to ease the suffering of farmers. Many struggled with failed crops and food shortages. The Green Sprouts policy provided government loans. These loans were for seeds and tools. Shenzong encouraged farmers to plant again in the next season. This was a crucial step toward agricultural revival. The policy did more than just help farmers, it stimulated the economy as well. With loans, farmers could cultivate their land effectively. This led to an increase in food production. As food became more plentiful, local markets stabilized, prices dropped, making food more accessible to all. Additionally, the Green Sprouts policy fostered community among peasants. Farmers began to share resources and knowledge. They built resilience against future hardships. The government promoted cooperative farming. This allowed communities to work together, increasing efficiency and productivity. However, the policy wasn't without challenges. Some officials were doubtful about the loan's sustainability. They feared widespread defaults could occur. Yet, Shenzong remained steadfast in his vision. He believed that investing in agriculture would strengthen the empire. As tensions rose in the region, Emperor Shenzong faced a grave threat from Western Xia. This powerful neighbor, ruled by the Tangut people, challenged the stability of the Song Dynasty. Western Xia was expanding its territory, clashing with Shenzong's vision for a prosperous empire. In 1071, Shenzong ordered military preparations against Western Xia's incursions. He believed a strong military response would deter further attacks and assert Song authority. To achieve this, he focused on reforming the army. He appointed capable generals to lead campaigns against the Tangut forces. The emperor aimed to combine offensive strategies with defensive fortifications to secure the borders. Despite his efforts, confrontations were intense and costly. The Western Xia showed resilience and tactical skill, often forcing Song forces to retreat. Shenzong's campaigns drew criticism. Many questioned the effectiveness of his military leadership and strategies. The ongoing skirmishes strained resources and lowered morale within the empire. Recognizing that military might alone wouldn't end the conflict, Shenzong considered diplomacy. He realized that balancing military action with negotiation could bring stability. The military confrontations with Western Xia revealed a widening gap within the Song dynasty. This divide formed between scholar officials who held political power and military leaders who faced pressing threats. As the empire struggled, the need for military strategy became clear. Yet the Confucian ideals that honored scholar officials were still deeply rooted in society. This created tension. Scholar officials saw themselves as moral guardians. They focused on civil administration but often overlooked military complexities. On the other hand, military leaders felt increasingly sidelined. Their expertise in warfare was overshadowed by the bureaucratic processes led by scholars. This disconnect grew during the reign of Shenzong as the empire faced critical military challenges. As military campaigns stumbled, frustration mounted. Military leaders criticized scholars for their lack of practical understanding. Meanwhile, scholars argued that military leaders lacked the political skills needed for governance. This divide impacted military strategy and the overall governance of the Song dynasty. It led to stagnation in effective decision-making. The tension between these two groups shaped the future dynamics of the Song dynasty. It highlighted the challenges of balancing military needs with the established bureaucratic framework. Recognizing threats from neighboring states, Shenzong of Song made naval expansion a key part of his military strategy. He knew a strong navy would protect China's coastlines, secure trade routes, and assert dominance in the South China Sea. During his reign, Shenzong launched major reforms to strengthen naval forces. He focused on shipbuilding, training, and logistics. Shenzong's government invested in building advanced warships. These ships featured innovative designs that improved speed and maneuverability. As a result, the Navy could engage effectively in both defense and offense. He also established naval academies. There, skilled sailors and commanders received rigorous training. This ensured the Navy was manned by capable personnel. In addition to enhancing naval capabilities, Shenzong understood the importance of alliances. He sought to strengthen ties with maritime powers and neighboring regions. This diplomacy aimed to foster cooperation that would support his naval ambitions. He envisioned a network of allies to provide assistance in times of conflict. Shenzong's naval expansion attracted attention. His initiatives inspired pride among the Chinese people and deterred potential aggressors. Consequently, the Song Navy emerged as a formidable force, capable of safeguarding the empire's interests at sea. Shenzong of Song sought to improve governance and efficiency in his empire. He initiated important reforms in the civil service and examination system. His goal was to create a merit-based system. This would allow talented individuals to rise through the ranks based on their abilities rather than their social status. This shift was a significant moment in Chinese history. Shenzong understood the need for a skilled bureaucracy to manage the complexities of the growing empire. To accomplish this, Shenzong expanded the civil service examination system. He made it accessible to more candidates. He revised the curriculum, placing greater emphasis on Confucian texts and practical knowledge. This better prepared scholars for administrative roles. By increasing the number of examination locations, he ensured that aspiring officials from various regions could participate. This diversification enriched the pool of candidates. In addition, Shenzong took steps to reduce corruption in the examination process. He established stricter oversight and introduced measures to combat favoritism and bribery. These reforms fostered a sense of fairness among candidates. They also enhanced the legitimacy of the examination system. As a result of these changes, the civil service attracted more capable individuals. This ultimately led to improved governance. Shenzong's efforts not only strengthened the administration, but also set the stage for future reforms in the imperial examination system. His legacy in civil service reform demonstrates his commitment to a more effective and just government. It significantly shaped the trajectory of the Song Dynasty. Political rivalries in the imperial court reforms in the civil service and examination system didn't end the political rivalries within the imperial court. Instead, these reforms intensified competition among factions seeking power and influence. Shenzong of Song, with grand ambitions for his empire, faced a tangled web of alliances and hostilities. As Shenzong pursued change, especially through Wang Anshi's new policies, he deepened the divisions among court officials. Traditionalists who saw these reforms as radical united against the reformists. They feared losing their privileges and disrupting established norms. This clash created a tense atmosphere filled with suspicion and accusations of betrayal. The rivalry went beyond policy debates. Personal ambitions often fueled these conflicts. Intrigues could bring down even the most loyal officials. Faction leaders worked tirelessly to gain the emperor's favor while undermining their rivals. The court became a battleground where alliances shifted quickly and trust became scarce. Despite Shenzong's attempts to consolidate power and elevate capable officials, stability remained elusive. The influence of each faction rose and fell, affecting governance and decision-making. The ongoing political rivalries strained relationships within the court. They also hindered the effective implementation of reforms. The resignation of Wang Anshi was a crucial moment in Shenzong's reign. Wang was a key advisor and reformer. He'd introduced major changes to strengthen the Song Dynasty's economy and military. His policies aimed to ease the burdens on peasants, boost state revenues, and improve military readiness. However, not all court members supported his reforms. Opposition to Wang grew louder. Traditionalists viewed his ideas as radical and dangerous. They argued that his measures threatened the Confucian values that the dynasty valued. Political factions clashed for power, creating a tense atmosphere in the imperial court. Initially, Shenzong strongly supported Wang, but as dissent increased, he felt the pressure from opposing officials. In 1086, feeling trapped, Wang Anshi chose to resign. He believed his presence would only worsen divisions within the court. His resignation led to a rapid decline in his new policies. Many of his reformist allies lost their positions and influence. This power shift allowed traditionalists to regain control and roll back Wang's initiatives. After his departure, Shenzong faced difficulties in keeping unity within his administration. The loss of Wang Anshi's visionary leadership slowed reform efforts. As tensions within the Song court grew after Wang Anshi's resignation, conflicts with the Liao dynasty re-emerged. Emperor Shenzong, feeling the weight of his role, knew he'd to act. He aimed to strengthen the military to face this old adversary. The Liao dynasty, sensing the Song's internal strife, began to make bold territorial claims. These actions threatened the stability of the Song borders. The Liao's incursions weren't just acts of aggression, they were calculated moves. They sought to take advantage of the Song's weakened political state. Facing criticism for his inaction, Shenzong launched military reforms to improve the Song's defenses. He called upon his generals to unite the fragmented military command. However, results varied. Some commanders resisted the reforms, clinging to traditional methods that had failed against the Liao's cavalry. At the same time, Shenzong pursued diplomacy. He sought peace and aimed to form alliances with neighboring states. Yet, the Liao leaders remained steadfast, confident in their power. As skirmishes broke out along the borders, the Song court found itself in a difficult position. They were caught between the need for military action and the desire for diplomatic solutions. Despite Shenzong's efforts to bring stability, raids and territorial disputes persisted. This turbulent period foreshadowed challenges ahead. Shenzong's reign, marked by renewed tensions, would demand not only military strength but also clever political strategies to navigate the complexities of relations between dynasties. While Emperor Shenzong faced military challenges, his reign also sparked great cultural and technological growth. The Song dynasty thrived in arts and literature during this time. Shenzong supported scholars and artists, leading to remarkable achievements in poetry and painting. Notable figures emerged, such as the poet Su Shi, who greatly enriched Chinese literature. Technological advancements transformed daily life under Shenzong's rule. Agriculture improved with the use of iron plows and better irrigation. These innovations increased crop yields, which supported population growth and urbanization. As cities expanded, bustling marketplaces emerged, boosting the economy. The invention of movable type printing during this period changed how knowledge was shared. Literature became more accessible to everyone. In addition to agriculture and printing, metallurgy and engineering saw significant progress. New techniques in iron and steel production led to stronger tools and weapons. This strengthened the dynasty's economic and military power. Moreover, advancements in shipbuilding improved maritime trade. The Song dynasty connected with distant regions, fostering cultural exchange and enriching its heritage. As Shenzong of Song's reign continued, the excitement for the new policies started to fade. Key reforms in the economy and military faced strong criticism. This growing discontent led to a gradual reversal of the policies. Such changes weakened their intended effects. This shift was a crucial moment in Shenzong's legacy. It also altered the Song dynasty's approach to governance. Shenzong of Song once championed the new policies. These reforms aimed to strengthen the economy and military. However, as his reign progressed, a dramatic shift occurred. Pressures mounted from court officials and external threats. In response, Shenzong began to dismantle the very programs he'd once supported. The fiscal initiatives meant to boost trade, and agriculture fell victim to changing political circumstances. As the new policies unraveled, military funding decreased. This left the empire vulnerable to attacks. Critics of the reforms grew increasingly vocal. They argued that the changes threatened traditional values and weakened the state's power. In light of this, Shenzong refocused on conventional governance. He prioritized the interests of the aristocracy over those of the common people. This regression caused a decline in morale among those who'd benefited from the reforms. The economic stability gained during the early phases of the new policies started to erode. Uncertainty spread across the territory. As Shenzong's health faltered, his grip on power weakened. The court became a battleground. Various factions fought fiercely for control. This struggle made governance even more difficult. Despite his early achievements, Shenzong of Song faced many challenges in his later years. His health declined, and this weakened his ability to govern. As he grew frail, advisors and courtiers took advantage of his condition. Factions began to form within the court. Rival groups fought for influence, further undermining Shenzong's authority. His illness resulted in a lack of strong leadership. Important policies and military strategies suffered. Shenzong struggled to maintain focus, and his initial reforms lost momentum. The court, once a place of unity, turned into a battlefield of competing interests. This chaos eroded the progress he'd worked hard to achieve. In his efforts to regain control, Shenzong often turned to trusted advisors. However, this only deepened the divisions within the court. As his reign dragged on, it became clear that the Song dynasty was in a fragile state. As Shenzong of Song faced declining health, Empress Dowager Gao's power grew. She skillfully navigated the tricky political landscape of the court. This made her a key figure during his last years. The relationship between Empress Dowager Gao and Shenzong was significant. It would influence the future of the Song dynasty profoundly. Her decisions and actions would shape the course of history. The balance of power was shifting, and the empire stood at a crossroads. The growing power of the Empress, Shenzong of Song, once held great power. However, as his health worsened, Empress Dowager Gao began to rise. This shift changed the power dynamics at court. Gao took control of political decisions. She influenced key appointments with her sharp mind and understanding of court affairs. Her rise wasn't just by chance. She built alliances with influential officials. This strategy strengthened her position. Zhao challenged the traditional power structures. She sidelined Shenzong's advisors who dominated court life. Although Shenzong remained on the throne, the real power lay with her. Under her leadership, the court transformed. Empress Dowager Gao focused on stability and reform. She pushed for policies that matched her vision for the empire. Her involvement in governance changed the political landscape. As Shenzong entered his final years, it became clear Gao's growing power would leave a lasting mark on the Song dynasty. Her influence would shape its future long after Shenzong's reign ended. During Shenzong's reign, the Song dynasty faced serious financial troubles. Citizens struggled with heavy taxes, prices were rising. This created public discontent. People were unhappy, and the risk of rebellion grew. As economic hardships worsened, the threat of uprisings became more real. This challenged Shenzong's authority and governance. Shenzong of Song sought to strengthen his empire. However, financial instability plagued his reign. This instability led to widespread public discontent and the threat of rebellion. The Song Dynasty faced serious economic troubles. Rising taxes and rampant inflation burdened the people. These issues arose from costly military campaigns and poor tax collection. As a result, many common people struggled to survive. Farmers found it hard to pay their taxes. This inability drove many into poverty and unrest. Meanwhile, urban dwellers also felt the squeeze. Prices of goods soared, igniting anger towards the ruling elite. Discontent brewed in the provinces where local officials were often corrupt. Their actions deepened the grievances of the populace. Shenzong attempted to implement reforms, yet these efforts fell short. The growing discontent remained unaddressed. His court, focused on consolidating power, largely ignored the people's suffering. Consequently, various factions began to form. They sought to challenge the authority of the Song Dynasty. The threat of rebellion loomed large. It cast a shadow over Shenzong's ambitions. Ultimately, the combination of financial instability and public dissatisfaction posed a serious challenge to his reign. It also threatened the future of the dynasty itself. As Shenzong of Song neared the end of his life in 1085, uncertainty gripped the empire. His failing health raised fears about the future. Questions about succession and stability arose. Courtiers and factions began to compete for power. This struggle intensified as his death approached. The political landscape shifted dramatically. Each move was crucial. The fate of the empire hung in the balance. The court was filled with intrigue and ambition. The once unified realm faced the threat of division. In these final days, the emperor's legacy was at stake. Shenzong of Song was a strong ruler. He pushed for reforms and military growth. However, his final days were filled with political uncertainty. In 1085, the emperor's health worsened. This led to much speculation about the future of the dynasty. Shenzong's leadership began to wane. He faced internal conflicts and challenges from powerful officials. As whispers of succession grew, the loyalty of his ministers became questionable. Some sought to undermine his reforms. Others fought for power in the looming vacuum. Shenzong struggled to balance the interests of the elite with those of the common people. In the months before his death, the lack of a clear successor heightened tensions. His son, Zhao Shu, was viewed as inexperienced, raising concerns about the stability of the Song dynasty. Ultimately, Shenzong's death marked the end of an era. It set the stage for a turbulent shift that would test the resilience of his reforms and the unity of his empire. Shenzong of Song placed great importance on his personal life and family. He believed that a stable family was crucial for a harmonious state. His relationships shaped both his personal choices and political strategies. Shenzong was married to Empress Zhang. Their marriage, though rooted in political alliances, was marked by genuine affection. Together, they'd several children, including the Crown Prince, who was expected to carry on the Song legacy. Shenzong paid close attention to his children's education. He ensured they received a balanced upbringing, blending Confucian principles with practical governance skills. He often discussed state affairs with them, preparing them for future leadership roles. This dedication showed his desire for a smooth transition of power, emphasizing stability within the dynasty. The emperor's family dynamics extended to his court as well. Shenzong surrounded himself with trusted advisors, many of whom were friends and family. This network reinforced loyalty and support, strengthening his position. However, family interactions sometimes led to conflicts, especially regarding succession and influence within the court. Shenzong of Song's reign was notable for many achievements. However, it ended with his death in 1085. The emperor passed away after a long illness. His death left a significant impact on the Song dynasty. It created a power vacuum that raised concerns about stability. Shenzong had worked hard on reforms, and many feared these changes might falter without strong leadership. After Shenzong's death, his son, Zhao Shu, became Emperor Zhezong. He was only 16 years old. Zhezong faced immediate challenges in ruling a kingdom still dealing with his father's policies. The young emperor was heavily influenced by powerful court officials. They had their own agendas, leading to a struggle. Zhezong had to balance his father's vision and the state's urgent needs. Shenzong's legacy was complex. He expanded the empire and boosted the economy. However, his later years were marked by military setbacks and internal unrest. Zhezong's reign struggled to keep up the momentum Shenzong had built. The young emperor's inexperience often led to indecision. In the aftermath of Shenzong's death, the political landscape changed dramatically. As Emperor Zhezong took the throne, Empress Dowager Gao's influence grew stronger. She played a crucial role in guiding the Song Dynasty. Though she was officially a figurehead, her wisdom shaped important decisions. Empress Dowager Gao valued stability and good governance. She understood the complex nature of court politics. Often she acted as a mediator between different factions. Her skill in navigating these challenges helped keep the empire united. By promoting capable officials who shared her vision, she set the stage for beneficial policies. Additionally, she was key in foreign relations. Empress Dowager Gao preferred peace and diplomacy over war. She believed a strong economy was vital for the Song Dynasty. Thus, she supported agricultural reforms and trade initiatives that improved prosperity. Shenzong of Song's reign revealed serious military weaknesses. These issues would trouble future Song emperors. His failure to handle northern threats set a dangerous precedent. This left the empire vulnerable to ongoing attacks. Later leaders had to deal with the fallout of Shenzong's military strategies. Their decisions were heavily influenced by his shortcomings. The Song dynasty began on a high note during Shenzong's reign. However, military weaknesses soon emerged. The northern tribes, especially the Liao and later the Jin, posed serious threats. These challenges highlighted the vulnerabilities of the Song Empire. Shenzong concentrated on civil administration and economic reforms. Unfortunately, this focus came at the expense of military readiness. As a result, the empire struggled to defend itself against invaders. Later emperors inherited these issues. They faced constant invasions from the north. This forced them to divert resources to defense. The economy suffered as attention shifted away from other crucial matters. The inability to maintain a strong military presence allowed the northern powers to take advantage of the Song's weaknesses. This led to territorial losses and a decline in influence. Fear of northern threats created insecurity among the Song leadership. They often turned to diplomacy instead of military action. While this strategy sometimes yielded results, it left the dynasty vulnerable to further invasions. Shenzong of Song stands out as a significant figure in history. His reign brought important changes in governance and economic policy. He championed meritocracy, which is the idea that leaders should be chosen based on ability and talent. This concept is still relevant today in discussions about good leadership and civil service reform. Economically, Shenzong pushed for agricultural innovation and tax reform. These efforts laid the foundation for sustainable growth. Scholars often cite his policies as early examples of state intervention in the economy. They highlight the need to balance government oversight with market freedom. This balance is crucial as countries today face similar issues with economic inequality and development. Shenzong also faced military threats during his reign. His challenges illustrate the complexities of national security. His efforts to unify military and civil authority are still relevant in today's global politics. The role of military power in governance remains a critical topic, especially in unstable regions. In the realm of education, Shenzong valued Confucian scholars. He recognized that intellectual thought is vital for effective statecraft. This emphasis on education continues to be a key component of modern governance. Shenzong of Song's reign was a crucial time in the Song dynasty. It was marked by ambitious reforms and significant cultural advancements. Early in his rule, he showed great promise. He was influenced by important figures like Empress Gao and Wang Anshi. However, his efforts faced many challenges. These challenges ultimately led to instability after his death. Despite this, Shenzong's legacy remains strong. It highlights the complexities of governance and reform. His reign shaped the future of the Song emperors and the dynasty itself.